Please.
Here it is, the groove.
Hey, no, what up, brother?
Yo, Capo, you getting real bougie on the brother, man.
Nah, not at all.
Bougie,
Not at all, okay?
real bougie, playboy.
Before we jump off into our regular conversation, welcome to Sparring Minds. This is your boy, Charlie Hustle, a.k.a. Charles Jones.
And it's the chef, fresh off the birthday weekend, Mr. Main Topic.
How was it, King?
Oh, man. It was smooth, man. It was good. It was really good time. Good to get away. No bunch of fireworks. Just real peaceful. You know what I'm saying? It's been a crazy last few weeks. So the peace and tranquility, what I needed. Cape Cod was smooth. The venue was smooth. Definitely good places if you've never been there. Good places to go to when you're trying to get away and relax a little bit. You know, so it was a good time. Definitely.
Did you get out there and do a little bit of fishing, or?
Didn't do no fishing. Didn't do any fishing. It really wasn't that type of energy was on. But definitely got out to the beach. You know what I'm saying? Just walked around. You know, ate good, obviously. And again, just enjoyed the peace and the quiet. You know what I'm saying? Vineyard, definitely nice. And this was my first time there. It was first time for both of us. Neither one of us had ever been there. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, it was a little bit overwhelming because there was, like, a lot of stuff to do. You know what I'm saying? Not just in Oaks Bluffs, but just all around the island. You know what I'm saying? So there was a couple of things that we didn't even do because, you know, we was only there for a short stay because I think we got there maybe like around 10-something, and then the ferry leaving back was leaving about 6:55. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things of where you actually got to be on the vineyard for like a day or two maybe to really enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? People bringing their cars over. Yeah, it's crazy. People bringing their cars over. I mean, it's crazy, but it's a really good time. So if you've never been, the vineyard, the Cape, you don't even feel like you're in Massachusetts.
Salute to the queen for setting that up, man. That's how
Word up. Definitely salute to her. She did. I kept telling her, I was like, damn, you did a great job.
Word. Like, reinforce that. Reinforce that. You know what I mean? I think the big thing with women like that is they want to make sure they, you know, you reinforce when they do good shit. You know what I mean? So
absolutely. From the hotel to the everything. I picked out some good places to eat though, but
how'd that dinner go? You didn't tell me. How'd the dinner go?
Oh man, listen. So we went to this spot called Nancy's on the Vineyard Saturday afternoon. And you know, when I go to places that are known for things, or I look at their menu and it's like, oh, this is the Nancy special.
That's what I want.
I'm intrigued to try those things, right?
Hold up.
And so I tried. Nancy's had a special of wings that were really good. And then they had a burger that was really good. It was lunch, so we kind of kept it. We kept it real light. I didn't go too crazy. I did, although I did try some sushi.
Okay, how was that?
Yeah, sushi was good.
Not everyone makes a good sushi, so you know what I mean.
Sushi was good. Sushi was good, definitely. But it wasn't the raw; it was cooked.
Oh man, what is you doing?
Yeah. Absolutely. Listen, man, I ain't graduated there yet.
Shout out to Nancy's then, man.
Shout out to Nancy's. Definitely line to get into, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, good spot. And the dope thing about that, this disclaimer, is that every time you saw black people down in Oak Bluffs, super friendly. Hey, how you doing? I mean, they were driving by and it was, hey, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? So very friendly from that standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Which was dope. So,
Hell yeah, I like that.
Definitely. So shout
Now,
out to the kid.
if we could have got the white folks to be super friendly, that would have been even better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll take that. That's a good start. You did.
A crawl before you can walk.
Yeah, absolutely. So shout out Cape Cod for taking care of my brother, man. That's big up to that community down there. We came in on summertime, and I think this pandemic is kind of fucking up everybody's summertime plans. And you know, my birthday, like you, I'm a Cancer, so my birthday's right around the corner. Did you have any summertime plans that's kind of fucked up, or are you just kind of like winging it now?
Yeah, I definitely had some summertime plans that got fucked up, you know, traveling wise and stuff. But you know, just trying to make do with what we're dealing with right now. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why it's good to take little trips like the one we just took, you know, this past weekend, you know, with everything going on, you know, so.
And special shout to our brother Hightower. He's taking a trip. He's down in Orlando right now with family doing his thing. Special shout to our brother Sammy Little. He's down in South Carolina doing his thing. So
he's on his way. Little's on his way back. Yeah, Little's on his way back now. Height is still and Height is still there.
But like you said, you know, it's important to be able to get out and take a little break from what's going on around us. Me and my wife are not comfortable enough yet to do that. I think we'll get there soon. We want just drive up to Atlanta, go out to a nice dinner, drive down on, you know, we got to do something. You know what I mean? Try to get back to normal.
Right.
But you know, we had a family reunion planned for this summer. You know what I mean? And that's like canceled. You know what I mean? Wow. It's like, and I told you, I've been telling you offline about the difficulties with my son coming down, and because Florida, you know, with our cases are rising at a rapid rate, that, you know, my son who comes down every summertime, just, you know, is not going to be able to come down this summer. So it's heartbreaking in a way where, you know, your summertime plans are canceled, and but we make do and try to figure some things out and go from there, you know. So so shout out to Will Smith for bringing us in. So we did want to talk about our summertime a little bit. Y'all hit us in the comments. Let us know how your summer's going. If you had some plans that was canceled, if, you know, and not only that, you canceled plans, but what you're trying to do now to make up for that. You know what I mean? Are you taking little weekend trips, little day trips? You know what I mean? Or is just walking around the park good enough for you? You know what I mean? You kind of just get out of the regular norm. Or, you know, that might be good for some people, you know, take a walk around the pond, etc. You know what I mean? So yeah, let us know what that feels like. So we got a couple things on the docket for today, man.
Yeah.
And I guess you can't start any better than Mr. West, Mr. Kanye West, on Instagram, I believe, or was it Twitter? I don't even know which one it was, but
probably Twitter.
Was it Twitter?
I believe Twitter.
Official announcement that he's going to run for president in 2020.
Stranger things have happened, man.
Sure. Like
Donald
Trump.
Stranger things have happened. You know what I'm saying? So, could it be a thing of where he's jumping in to maybe try to, you know, split some votes? Because realistically, there are people that if they voted for Donald Trump, they will vote for Kanye West if he makes the ballot. Let's be clear on that.
So there's a couple things. There's a couple things here that we should talk about.
Yeah.
First off, because he's not right now. First off, salute to Kanye West. I know we don't necessarily fuck with Kanye all the time, but anytime a nigga that come from the soil like us, when you come from the dirt, you know what I mean? You running for president, that's some crazy shit. And I've never seen anything like that happen for a young black brother like us. You know what I mean? So salute first off to that. Despite all the crazy shit he says and does, and salute to that. You know what I mean? Like, you can't do nothing but be happy for a brother when that kind of thing happens for him. So, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about it a little bit. So Kanye, he been talking about this for a little while. First off, right?
Yep. This is not new.
Not at all. So he mentioned it back in like 2015, I think it was, right? And then he mentioned it again that same year at the Video Vanguard Awards. He was like, it was something with him and Taylor Swift, they had some kind of interaction, but he mentioned it then again. He was like, yo, Keep an eye out for me. I'm coming for president, right? And then later again that same year at Fashion Week, he said it again when he was out there dealing with the Yeezy clothing line. He's like, I'm running for president sooner or later. I'm just keep your eyes open. So him running for president now, he also said 2024, and he's now bumped that timeline up to 2020, which I'm whatever. I'm okay with that. The second part I want to talk about with Kanye is that, so it's one thing for me or you to go out and say we're running for president, right? It's another thing for Kanye to do it with a hip hop background, without a legal background, without a formal training in politics, admittedly a college dropout, and not only that, but he's getting the backing of people like Elon Musk and Mark Cuban. So that's pretty incredible, though. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty dope. Like
financially, he'll be in good shape to run for his campaign. You know what I'm saying? It'll just be interesting and hilarious to just see how that plays out. You know what I mean? With Kim and you know what I'm saying? Like the Kardashian, like how that plays into a factor of how much he's voted for, or just this is just going to be really, really interesting.
So didn't we learn with Donald Trump that? And I don't necessarily come on here to slander and talk bad about Donald Trump. Like I think I'm not a supporter, but whatever, right? Like I think with our presidents, all of our presidents in the history of life, it's always been a popularity contest. And that's why Donald Trump won, because he's a celebrity in chief. Like he was on TV doing Celebrity Apprentice. Like he's just a popular motherfucker, whether you hate him or love him, and people voted for him because of that. You know, our president is nothing more than somebody who's popular at the time. So with Kanye West, we know he's popular. We know that up front. Like that's, you know what I mean? It's just from his musical genius, we know that he's popular. So when you get 20-year-olds, 22-year-olds voting, they're going to vote off the strength of not his political stance. They're not going to say, Kanye, what do you feel about healthcare, right? They're going to say, oh, shit, you didn't do the college dropout. You know what I mean? Here's my vote. Like, okay. So, yeah, like, whatever. You know, I mean, he's made some statements about how he's going to, again, this goes back to the Fashion Week statement, right? When he was at Fashion Week, he said one of the things he wanted to do was bring the manufacturing of his Yeezus line to America to create jobs. So he's kind of started talking in a political rhetoric where he's like, okay, let me start addressing some of these concerns. And you brought up a good point as well, man. We've seen over the last couple of years Kim Kardashian getting involved in some kind of social things. With some law cases that was kind of fucked up. She's been involved in those cases, right? So how much of that is tied to a political aspiration?
Again, her father was an attorney, you know what I'm saying? So she's been around that. And again, we don't know what she's doing as far as if she's been studying for any type of law thing or just to know what's going on, because obviously this has been something they've been talking about for a while. And I'm sure he and his wife are discussing, you know, this together. You know what I mean?
Sure,
so,
of course. And I think there was some mention that she was going to law school, like some years ago. She started going to law school when she started helping out these social cases, people wrongfully imprisoned, etc.
She's got some guys pardoned, I believe. Like so, you know. This will be interesting.
And so not only that, right? Like we talked about Kanye West fame, and we talked about how in order for you to be president, you got to be popular. Kanye, yeah, we get it. You popular? Ain't nobody more popular than Kim Kardashian. You see what I'm saying? So when you got that engine pushing you, this could very easily turn into something that's viable.
At best, it's going to steal some votes from somebody. Which candidate, we're not for sure.
Right.
But at best, that is one thing that we know will happen. Which way is it going to drive the votes to? He's going to be stealing votes from somebody, Biden or Trump.
And that's perfect segue because at this late in the game, we're in July and we're voting is in November, right?
Yep.
So we know he's not going to run on the Democratic or Republican ticket. Just, we've already kind of settled on who's running on those tickets at this point, right? So what Kanye has to do, and actually I looked it up, he's only noted on the Green Party ballot, right? That nobody ever votes on the Green Party ballot. And the logic has always been that if you vote Green Party, if you vote Independent, you're wasting your vote. That's always been this kind of back channel logic. But that's the ballot that he appears on right now, as of today.
Yeah, definitely. So
that's interesting to me. That's interesting that he's basically running as an independent, saying, fuck these parties, I'm going to run as Kanye West.
Right.
So that's crazy. Him taking, I see a lot of people in the comments on social media saying, "Oh well, he's doing Biden a disservice. He's helping Trump. This is really just for him to help Trump. He's good friends with Trump and blah 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 blah." I don't know. You know what I mean? What does him running for president is not a guarantee to help Trump, and no political advisor would say that with sense. You know what I mean? You can't guarantee it.
No, but it's just helped to split the votes. It's helped to get, you know what I mean? That's all.
Yeah. So do we feel like
Biden, they will go for Kanye? You know what I'm saying? Or vice versa for Trump. And I mean, who knows? But he's definitely gonna sway some votes from somebody.
And we feel like the young black youth are the ones who are going to vote for Kanye West. And those same young black youth were the ones we were hoping were going to vote for Biden.
Right.
So I guess some of the common sense there is that we'd lose.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yep.
It's something to keep an eye on, something to watch, something we're obviously going to be talking about as it keeps moving forward. But, there's no assumptions there. We'll just watch it and stay tuned.
That's it. Let's do it.
Yeah, second on the docket was a case out of New York and I'm a very big rap battle fan, and I'm not sure you are, but a lot of our listeners are as well.
Yeah.
I love the culture because it takes me back to when bars meant something, and there was witty wordplay and creativity in what you were actually saying. Where we don't get that in rap no more. You know what I mean? Now, our music is really relying on the beats and the kind of production value where dudes ain't really saying much outside of a select few.
I'll say you got to be able to. You have to be able to make good songs as well as just be a battle MC, and I think that's one thing that I won't say all of the battle cats struggle with, but some have. Like, okay, cool, yes, you can spit bars, but can you construct and make a dope song?
Correct. It's funny because in the mainstream rap industry, it's the exact opposite. These niggas can't spit bars. They ain't saying nothing, but the production is tremendous. The songs are great, right? But the street rappers, they're saying everything you want to hear and then some with every metaphor you could think of, but the songs ain't that. You know what I mean? So it's a weird dichotomy of what we're looking at with them. But sticking with the street rap industry, Math Hoffa came up in the news about 2 weeks ago. And we were supposed to talk about it and never did.
Right.
But there's a young lady out of New York by the name, and she's a rapper, by the way, by the name of Queen Kiki, right? And she announced on Instagram that Math Hoffa sexually assaulted her, right? And what I want to do is I'm gonna pull up the article here in a second, Maine. But before I do, there's some things that immediately jump out at me, and I know, boy. Well, ladies, you'll pardon me, but so the first thing I wanna get my head around is why someone would go to Instagram to announce or declare or to stand up against a sexual assault? Like, can you help me wrap my head around that? That's something you have an answer for?
I mean, we don't know if they went to the police after or before the fact and then went to social media afterwards.
Let's give you the details. Let me give you the details. So let me actually read you her Instagram post, right?
Okay.
And this is directly from her. It says, "This is the reason I stopped going to battles." She's referencing Math Hoffa at this time. He took the joy out of it from me. He's the reason my life is completely altered forever, right? And this is a rather long statement, so I'll just keep going. Yes, you read it right. This DH, I don't know what that stands for, but yes, this DH, Math Hoffa, and she added him, violated me. Someone I trusted, supposed to be a friend, quote unquote. I never asked or consented. I was celibate too, and this really broke my heart. She said, okay, so even with him on tape apologizing, saying he heard me saying stop, and he did not, admitted to choking me, even was holding me against my will, and so much more. She went on to say she did the right thing and went through the whole process. And I guess she's talking about the rape kit and the examination process. She says, but the judicial system failed me, y'all, like horribly, comparing it to a horror story. So she is demanding, she ends it by saying she's demanded justice from him and the judicial system. She went on to make a later post to say that she came to Instagram to make this statement to get justice and have this individual prosecuted in this system. And I told you it was a lengthy post. To empower others to speak up against their attackers and to create a nonprofit that supports people who dealt with or are dealing with traumas such as rape. I did not deserve this. No one deserves to be raped.
Lots to unpack.
Oh, yeah. So let's go back to the very beginning of my first question, which is, can we wrap our head around why someone who, first off, let's keep it 100. If Math Hoffa is guilty of what she is claiming that he did, he is an absolute asshole and deserves punishment to the fullest extent of the law. We agree with that. No debate. With that said, can we wrap our head around why a young lady would go to Instagram or Twitter with a situation such as this?
It's hard to wrap your head around it, again, unless they went to the authorities, the proper authorities, and then made this announcement kind of after the fact. Because maybe if they felt like they brought it to the authorities, they weren't doing anything for them, were moving fast enough. And then, you know, sometimes, again, with social media, you can put something out there for people to either interpret their own way. They could believe it. They could see this fake, want to hear more news, more information about it. Yeah, it's, you know what I mean? You would hope that this was sent to the authorities or that some police was involved before this happened, before they went public and put something like this information out there. Well, because if you make these kind of accusations public and it's false, then it looks crazy. You've ruined someone's reputation. And, you know, again, Charlemagne has one of the best quotes ever. I love it. I always use it, is that nobody cares about the truth when the lie is more entertaining. Right? And so no one will care to know the truth about what happened if this isn't true. You know, they'll just be like, oh, man, Math Hoffa, his name will be forever associated with something like this. Second, is Math Hoffa in cuffs? Is he still doing battle raps? Is he still with the URL? I mean, this has been out there for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm not into that world, so I wouldn't really have a clue on what's going on with Math Hoffa. as far as whether he's still walking these streets or anything like that. You know what I mean?
That's a good question. Let me give you the response to that because Math Hoffa has responded to this as well. So let me give you that. Math says, my heart goes out to the women who have actually experienced something terrible like that. May God grant you justice. I ain't the one, though. Go find one of those guys. I'm too nice. That's my problem. And so he later goes on to say, why are y'all not demanding the proof? That's what's crazy about this whole thing. If she got choked unconscious, like she said, where's the hospital records with the swollen neck? Where's the rape kit? Where's the full conversation? What the fuck are y'all doing? So Math seems pretty adamant about, I didn't do this. You ain't about to fuck my shit up. Like, beat it. You know what I mean? I guess I hate to say I always side with men on this kind of thing, but I don't understand. I'll tell you what. Let me tag in some assistance. I think we could use a little bit more help unpacking this.
Hey.
And so we'll tag in our brother Anthony Hightower, who's in a remote location down in parts unknown.
Is he in Venezuela right now?
We don't know. I heard he could be a Port-au-Prince. He could be fucking Fiji. We don't know where this motherfucker. What up, HT?
Yo, what's good?
What's good, brother? We
man,
just
I'm sitting here in the closet, man. Only place I can hide away.
I'm sure the listeners appreciate it, brother. I'm sure they appreciate it. We're unpacking. First off, how's the travels? Everything going well?
Everything's great, man. All the fam is here now, man. Everybody we was all in the pool, man, but it started raining, so everybody getting out. So
that's Florida life for you, brother.
Yeah, man. It's been raining all weekend, yo. What's up with that?
Nothing new. It'll rain for 20 minutes and then stop, and it'll be 95 degrees.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? We're unpacking a rather serious conversation, so I want to kind of brief you on it before we just dive back in. So we're talking about the situation with Math Hoffa being accused of sexual assault by a young lady named Queen Kiki up in New York. And I just read her rather long Instagram post about how she was sexually assaulted by him, and some of the things that happened, the process that she's taken since then. And what we were literally just asking each other was, why would she make this declaration on Instagram or Twitter? Why would that be the course of action? And I'm not sure how much you know about it, but a statement she made in her Instagram post was that she actually did take the rape kit, like she went through the whole process, and that the judicial system failed her. And so with that, she went to Instagram. And I don't understand, I don't get it. Like, so you went through the legal channels, you went through the rape kit, because let's be honest, if the rape kit turned up to have any evidence or any indication that it was Math Hoffa involved, they would have went to go get Math Hoffa. That we agree with that, correct? There's no confusion there, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So if the rape kit determined that, yeah, Math Hoffa didn't do nothing wrong. Now you're coming to Instagram because the rape kit was wrong? Because the justice system said, yeah, no, he didn't do nothing wrong. Now you'd rather come to Instagram and assassinate his character. Don't kill me. I'm just kind of talking about the facts here. I'm just saying that there's a rape kit for a reason, right? And if the rape kit had said it was Math, I would be the first one in line saying, go pick that nigga up. But the rape kit didn't say that. If it did, they already got it. So, the women can't cook me for this one, brother, because, there's no fingerprint at the scene here for Math Hoffa. And that's what Math Hoffa's response is. It's like, yo, where's the facts? Nope. And y'all just sitting here believing this chick talking this shit, but she has no facts. If she has an audio of me apologizing, where's the audio? Play the audio since you have the audio. None of that stuff's been released. Why? If you already went to the judicial system and told you to beat it. I can see if you were waiting for a lawsuit, if there was some kind of case, and the lawyer said, nah, you can't release that information, then I understand. Right. That's not what happened here. She said, "Oh, the judicial system failed me, so now I'm coming to Instagram to empower and let everyone else know what happened." Why?
That's tricky, man.
What's tricky about it? What's tricky about it?
Well, what I'm saying is, this isn't one of those clear-cut situations. I mean, it's always these are the situations where it's always tough because it's always going to be he said versus she said or whatever, and these are those sensitive topics where rape can be looked at as, or sexual assault or whatever can be subjective because of because of that fact in itself. And let's not be naive to think that the judicial system is the end all be all. Like we all know cats that are on the other side of the wall that shouldn't be there,
right?
Because of some nonsense. You know what I mean? So let's not act as if
there's no mistakes making on that side.
Yeah, like exactly. Like this, they could have been something here, and they just dropped the ball, and it worked in his favor because 9 times out of 10, women don't pull this out of their ass and say, "I was wronged in the situation."
You said 9 times out of 10?
Yeah.
That's Reed Richards, bro. That's a reach.
Yeah.
That's a real stretch.
It's every once in a while you have a situation where the woman was making up a story. Most cases, that's not the situation.
I don't think it's every once in a while.
You know what I mean? It's definitely not 50-50.
No, but if it's 60-40, 70-30, I wouldn't be surprised.
Close enough. You know what I mean? But I don't know too much about the situation, man. I don't follow battle rap that much. I'm familiar with some of the names, but these situations are difficult to determine, man, because you really don't know. Like even coercion can be considered rape in some situations. You know what I mean? So
excuse me, say that to me again.
Coercion.
Can you pardon me, Sparring Minds listeners. We're gonna take a quick break, and I'm gonna get back to you real quick. Y'all hold off real quick. And now that we're offline, right? I need you to explain to me how coercion can be considered rape. Please explain it to me while we're offline. And the fans, the people listening won't know. Just between us three.
It's one of those situations where, initially, a lady declines the advances, but then you have a gentleman who is persistent to the point where it's like, all right, well, if I just say yeah, then he'll leave me alone.
Keep going. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying like that's a real deal, man. Like I wouldn't call it rape in that sense, but there's a fine line because clearly she wasn't. Clearly she wasn't. This wasn't something she was looking forward to doing. It was more so like, if I do this, then he'll leave me alone. Fine, okay, cool, and you know what I mean. So it may not have been forceful and physically, but it could have been something else.
Maine, have you ever heard of this coercion of? Are you familiar with this term, Maine?
I've never heard of it.
Oh, okay.
I've never heard of it.
Okay.
Well, you never heard the term coercion?
No, I'm saying.
In this reference?
In the reference that you've
absolutely not
explained.
All right. So, pardon us, Sparring Mind listeners. We are now back. I had to get a quick education on what the fuck we was talking about with coercion. and after I got that explanation, it still made no sense. The fact that we all grew up trying to master the game of talking a chick out of her drawers, and now that's considered. We'll move on.
Yeah.
We'll move on. So let's go back to Math Hoffa.
Yeah, let's move on from that.
Back to Math Hoffa. So I think at the end of the day with this case, man, like, I don't want to sound insensitive. And like I started this topic with, if Math Hoffa is guilty of what he's being accused of, by all means, throw the entire library at him. You see what I'm saying? Like, I totally feel it, but I just want to make sure that he is in fact guilty of what they're saying here, because it could. There is a percentage. There's a possibility of it being. This is a young lady who may have felt scorned, may have felt like, oh, Matt's not giving me the attention that I wanted, and so I'm gonna ruin his career by saying this. There's a percentage that that's the truth, right?
Oh, for sure. That's always a possibility of that.
Okay. So as long as we acknowledge that percentage, we'll watch the news wire. We'll see how this thing unfolds. But let's not be quick to turn our back on Math Hoffa based on an allegation, and not only an allegation, but an allegation with some level of facts that say he wasn't even involved, meaning the rape kit. So let's wait for the facts. Let's wait for the details before we crucify him.
Word up.
Fair enough.
I gotta ask Chuck. And again, this one's kind of heavy too. Damn, this is a pretty heavy show, brothers. So as usual, I'll read it, run it around the room. We'll kick it around for a little bit and kind of see where we are with this. So the answer at the end of the question is going to be, the question at the end of the answer. The question at the end of the statement is going to be, is he wrong? That's going to be the question at the end. So my wife and I have been together for 4 years. We have a child together, and she has 2 from her last marriage. She asked me to adopt her 2 children from the previous relationship. I haven't given her an answer yet, but I'm more towards saying no. If we split, I just want to move on and parent my child. I would be legally responsible for the other 2. Well, I don't want that. Am I wrong for feeling this way? Maybe.
I mean, well, it sounds like he's planning an exit already. It doesn't sound like he's all the way like tied and committed in. Word. And so, in the words of someone on this show who I could have sworn I heard, like when you're thinking of someone who has an exit strategy or some way in their mind, that's really not a fan of mine. So, yeah, he's wrong. Like, yeah, you're wrong, brother. You know what I'm saying? Happy wife, happy life.
Get the fuck out of here with that statement.
And so the same way that you could be, you could meet a woman and you could have 2 kids of your own. And
Stop
she could
flipping
still
shit,
marry you.
cut it out.
And she can still marry you. Oh, I mean, I'm not talking about you, bro. I'm just
nah. You know we don't flip gender shit around here, bro. We don't do that shit over here, man.
Listen, man. I'm an equal opportunist, my brother. Sorry, forgive me. It's the cancer in me. My bad.
Oh my God.
Yeah, homie is a villain. You know what I'm saying? Again, it looks like he got 1 foot in, 1 foot out the relationship. Why are you even thinking about that right now? What's gonna happen long term? You with her? Listen, she got 2 kids. Yo, listen, you make it rock, man. You make it work, dog. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm just using the quotes from someone who on this show says similar things, but my bad, we can't switch the stuff around. But
please,
sounds like a movie I've heard before. So I'm just saying, hi, pass it on to you, my brother.
This dude's wrong to the 10th degree, man. Like, you can't get involved with a lady with 2 kids and not expect to take care of her and the 2 kids. Like, you know what you're dealing with when you're going into these situations. To question the fact of adopting, in my opinion, it's only because the previous or the biological father isn't in the picture. If he's in the picture, then sure, there's no need to, because he's doing what he needs to do from a distance. But now if he's not in the picture, and it seems like there's no intentions of him being in the picture, and you're essentially taking care of them anyway, to think about what life would be like when you separate at this point in the relationship is ridiculous. You should be living in the now and not preparing for the exit. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. You knew she had 2 kids when you dealt with her. You had no problem making the third, so you got to deal with that situation. If you don't want to be in a situation, then you don't have kids. You don't get involved with somebody who has kids. If that's your mindset.
So Sparring Minds listeners, and first off, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Definitely like, subscribe, and follow us on all the social media, YouTube stuff.
YouTube, baby, YouTube.
And when you go to the YouTube page, you'll see an archive of our old videos. And in that archive of our old videos, my 2 brothers here attached have been wrong 90% of the time. We're going to add to that percentage here today, right? So in this case, still not wrong at all. Here's the reality that you 2 have failed to mention. He's already taken care of them 2 kids. He's been married to her for 4 years. So he's already put in time, love, respect, and helping raise them, right? He's already put in his money to help raise them kids for the last 4 years. He's already developed a relationship with those kids for the last 4 years. With or without their father in the situation, he's already done that for 4 years, and probably a little bit longer in the courting phase that they had leading up to their marriage, right? So he's already vested. He's already here as a father figure for them children, right? Her asking him to adopt them is doing nothing for emotional support. It's doing nothing for strengthening relationship of him and the children. It's only tying him to the situation legally. That's the only thing it's doing. There's no other benefit of the adoption here in this case, right? Unless you guys can give me a different benefit outside of what the children will gain by him illegally adopting them, which, if he does, salute to you. First off, none of us said that. Salute to you if you have the gumption to adopt children that aren't yours. That's super legendary. Sparring Minds is behind you. What your foundation for that kind of movement? I'm just saying that if you don't choose to do that, you're not a villain, right? This dude's no villain here. He's done everything he's supposed to do leading up to it. He just don't want to be tied to it legally, and there's no need for it here. It's not a necessity.
I mean, that's like saying there's no need to get married. What are you talking about? The benefits, the insurance, the beneficiaries, when all that stuff gets put into place, yeah, that plays a role. If something happens to the mother now, where the kids going? They're not legally his, so they're out of the house.
Group home.
It's a protection thing more than it's a protection thing more than anything else.
I'm not familiar enough with adoption or cases of death situations to know what would happen immediately with a child like this. But I would gather that the children would stay with him until he makes a formal plea to keep them. That's what I would gather.
Well, that's the same thing as adoption.
But why do I have to do that now? Why, I could do it if the time comes and something happens. Why do I have to feel pressure into doing that now?
I wouldn't say it's pressure, but it's definitely something worth looking into.
Crossing T's and dotting I's, man.
Yeah, that's not something to be reactive to. You got to be proactive to that.
And okay, let's take it a step further. Let's say she does die by some. Who's to say that he wants to continue in that role? He may, like he said in his letter, I just want to raise my one kid and move on. Who's to say that now he's tied to raising them? Why?
Then he shouldn't have dealt with a lady who had kids.
That don't mean why? That's not bullshit. That means that if she dies, he's stuck with them forever. Stuck is the wrong word.
Listen,
he is now raising them forever.
No. If your mindset is to raise your one kid and move on, then you don't date somebody who has kids. Period.
But he's been raising them kids for 4 years. He hasn't complained about that.
He shouldn't. Well, if his mindset is one way, you can't deal any other way.
Right. Like
you can't.
So
there's too many variables in that situation.
Yeah.
To have that kind of mindset.
Yeah, way too many. I can't see any man in any situation that if the woman that's his wife and she has 2 kids, and if something was to happen with her, he's just gonna walk away and only care for his kid and his kid alone and say, fuck them other 2 kids that he been around being a father to for the past 4 years. I can't see any man there's some guys out there that are villains just walking away and saying, fuck them other 2 kids, let them go to group homes or whatever the case may be, and that's it. I just can't see that.
I don't think that
walking away from it.
It's like y'all said, there are a lot of variables, there are a lot of assumptions made in this, right? And one of the largest assumptions made in this statement is that we're assuming that their biological father is not involved in any way. That's what we're assuming, and that's a very large assumption.
We're not assuming that. We're not assuming that.
So then, if you're not that makes it a little bit worse. If you're not assuming that, then why would, in the case of death, why wouldn't these kids go live with their biological father?
Yeah, that has to be.
Well, no.
For me, at least.
If adoption is on the table, then it's obvious that the biological father is not in the picture.
That's not obvious. That's not
obvious. It's
why
obvious.
I disagree.
Obvious.
That's not obvious at all.
Because
that's obvious.
No. Because he has to sign the rights away for that to even happen.
Right.
If he's not in the picture, he has no say. So if she's putting it on the table, it's because she's now the custodial and he's not in the picture to make a decision. If he's in the picture, she has no right to do that.
So
without his consent.
Let's try backwards on this. So the statement that you're making there assumes that the mother is the primary guardian, correct?
Yeah. Yep. The dad's not in the picture at all.
No, that's absolutely false. Okay, good. I'm glad we clarified that. Just because the mother is the primary guardian does not mean that the father is not involved. That just means that this went to the court channels and designated primary guardians.
We're not saying that. We're not saying that.
So now we're making an assumption that this man is signed away his rights. Is that what we're saying?
Him to adopt him, though, bro. When he would have to sign the rights over. If the child's father is still alive, and the mom wants her husband to adopt him, right? He would have to sign the rights over.
Yep.
If he's still alive and good and able to take care of the kids, why would he sign over his rights to his kids to someone else if he's able to take care of them himself, or just be there?
I guess I don't know if that's a fact, and I'd want to Google that. I want to take a minute and look at that.
Then there's more layers to this thing.
Listen, Chuck, we'll use you as an example.
Mm-hmm.
Your sons can't be adopted by anybody else until you sign off with them. Period.
And so I don't know. So this is all legal jargon. This is all legal jargon at the end of the day, right? But this gets me to thinking about custodial parents, right? That's the only path this takes me down. And if you guys have comments, hit us in the comments. This is one of those conversations that we're keeping super wide open. Feed us with as much information as you can in the comments section. But I think that when we start talking about, now you might tell me, Chuck, nah, custodial is different than parental rights. Okay, I have to learn that and understand that. But in my head, the only term I understand, the only term I know is primary custody and secondary custody. Those are the only terms I know. And so there has to be a consideration for the father, regardless of the thoughts of the primary custody parent. That's all I want to make sure we're talking about.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
But this is the thing. This is the thing. It's like going to court. If you don't show up, you lose by default. This is the same situation. So if she's saying, would you adopt my kids? It's a default situation because the biological father is not in the picture to make a decision. And probably hasn't been in the picture to make a decision.
Right. Or else
so there is no secondary.
Right. Why would a mother want to do that if that was the case, if she had a father in her life?
Why would a mother want to do that? So that's what we're going to do right now, man? Because chicks out here do a lot of shit.
I mean, listen, we've taken the show in other directions any other time. So
I'm just saying that this chick could very easily do that out of spite for the baby's father. Very easily.
We don't know that.
I'm not comfortable co-signing. First off, dude in the letter, you're no villain. Don't listen to what these bozos are talking about. Like, you got to work with your own comfort level in this situation. And if this broad, thank you, babe. And if this broad if she gives you some shit off not wanting to adopt these children, maybe you married the wrong broad. Because maybe you married to the wrong young lady. See, I learned. See that? Because this is a case where you can't be mad if a dude don't want to do the adoption. If you're mad about it.
Show the fancy cup. I'm sorry. Show the fancy cup. Hey,
Come on,
look
man.
at this.
Why are we doing that? Come on, man.
No, what are you doing, man?
Yo,
is that an H too?
You know what's the H, man. There's no hustle without the H, baby.
That's Hightower, baby. That's not hustle. That's Hightower.
Get the fuck out of here.
They didn't got that cup for me. You just borrowing it right now. You loaning it. That's on loan right now, brother.
That's a salute to you.
yeah, let's call it.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
I'll look out for it in the mail.
Yeah, you keep by this stuff. Keep an eye open. Let's tie that off, man. Because I think we can go down a rabbit hole, which is kind of scary on that one, man.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's a villain. Unlike you two. There's some legal conversations that I'd like to have in terms of.
Right, definitely.
But
he's already
done. He's doing his job, man. Like, I can't see why he's a bad guy if he's like, nah, I don't want to sign a document. Just let me do what I've been doing. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this. There's a difference between volunteer work and getting a paycheck for a job, correct?
I agree. Right.
Okay, then. So in this situation, he's volunteering.
Wouldn't you say volunteering is more stand up than working and getting paid for it?
You can say that.
No, I think at the end of the day, that's how I dance away. I got your ass this time.
No.
Yeah,
no. Volunteering just shows a sign of good faith. That's all it does.
Right.
Bills got to be paid, though.
I guess one thing I'd like to explore with that you brought up was the terms of health insurance. But again, even in the case of health insurance, why am I taking on health insurance? Actually, rewind that. Go back. Here's the truth of the matter. I don't know if that's the truth. I'd have to think about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, think about that one.
Well, I'm thinking about the fact that if you have family coverage, you should be able to cover children that are living in your household, whether they're adopted or not legally. Again, there's some legalities in this conversation. Let's push it off.
Yeah, usually it's birth certificates and stuff like that involved too, with your name on it in those cases. So I'm not as sure about that one.
Yeah, we'll discuss it. And again, if y'all have comments, if y'all work in those industries, hit us and let me know, man. If you work down at the adoption, place where they handle that kind of stuff, and you know for sure some things, hit us and let us know.
Yeah.
HT, man, hit us with some kind of brains blast so we can get out of here, brother.
Brain blast?
Yeah, hit us with something, man. Just take us out.
To thy own self be true.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one for this show, brother. All right, man. Let's get out of here, man. Any closing shots? Anything else we need to say?
TBT tournament. It's been amazing on ESPN. And the league will be back in a couple of weeks. You know what I mean? So that's still looking forward to that. And Cam Newton arrived in Foxborough recently, so there was some pictures of Cam in a very interesting outfit. It's starting early, and sports commentators are actually comparing this. And I know Chuck he might love it. Actually, he might not. Well, they're comparing when the Randy Moss trade happened in terms of Cam Newton coming to Foxborough, like just how big it is. So,
get the fuck out of here.
You know,
out of here with this whole situation.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, no, we're not excited about that at all.
Salute to Cam, man.
Salute the killer.
Nigga Cam showed up in Boston with a pea coat, a wife beater, a silk skirt, and some Timberlands. I don't know what this nigga was wearing. And a fucking fedora.
Ready for all seasons.
Yes.
Shout out to Cam,
man.
Sparring Minds, man. It's Charlie Hustle, aka Charles Jones.
Hightower, yeah, baby.
You already know what it is, boy. It's the chef. It's the main topic.
Yo, we'll see y'all soon, man. One love.